Hi there, my name's Jane Anderson. I've spent the last 20 plus years working with people to help them to really elevate their communications. So whether that's been in small business, in large organisations, I've ran the training department for a large organisation, I've worked in sales and marketing, and I have a marketing degree. So I've kind of come from sales and marketing, worked in human resources, and essentially the connection between all those things is communications. So I then went on to start my practice about 10 years ago, and since then I've been working with some of Australia's leading experts in their field and with large organisations and leaders to be able to help them to really stand out, to be able to communicate their value and to progress their businesses and careers. So I'm essentially a strategic communications expert. So that means that I work across the whole remit of communications for business. So whether it's internal communications, whether it's running a tribe in a community. So if you're doing Facebook communications or intranet communications, marketing collaterals, all those sorts of things. So across the entire remit. And my focus is really helping people have greater influence in their businesses through that communication so you can grow your business. And my absolute obsession is about helping people to elevate their businesses. And particularly if it's through elevate your pricing, elevating your positioning, elevating the industry, elevating your team, whatever it is that we need to do, the communications that we put together is to really help you to lift everything and elevate it to where you're trying to go. So what makes me a little bit different is that I'm a certified speaking professional, so I speak at conferences almost weekly. I've written 7 books on the subject. I've been voted in the top 3 branding experts globally. My programs have been voted globally the best branding programs globally. You can jump on and Google it and find out. I've also won quite a few awards. So I've been voted in the top 25 branding branding blogs globally, top 10 in Australia, and have worked in awards for best coach globally, all that sort of stuff. So you can go online and you can see it all. And I also happen to be on Forbes Coaches Council. So that's a global group of coaches who have been recognised as global and world-class leading experts in their space who are coaches for Forbes on the Forbes website and Forbes magazine. So with all that out of the way, what is it that I'm a bit, I'd say, you know, if you're working with me, what's it a bit like? I say it's like a couple of things. So I say I'm a bit like a can opener, and that I get all this great stuff out of you. You've got all this awesome stuff inside you that you know, and I love being able to help people to get that out. And the other part to that is I'm kind of like a translator. So what I do is get all that out of you and then translate and help you to be able to put that into a way that people understand how to buy you. Because let's face it, you know, we've often got some really great ideas and we want to be able to help people, but sometimes people don't always understand how to buy you. So my job is to translate that so that it's really easy to work with you and get started. So for example, I was recently working with a guy called David who was just getting started in his practice, and what he wanted to do is leaving corporate, but he wasn't ready to go straight away. What he wanted to do was set up his practice and to be able to sort of start to make the transition of getting things like branding, website, blogs, content, start to get his LinkedIn working a bit better and get ready for that shift out of corporate. And David was a global multinational executive. He was based in Dubai, and he really operated between Dubai, Melbourne and South Africa. And so he had spent 25 years in corporate and really had never started a business before and really needed some support and hand-holding for that. Some of it we did for him and some of it was coaching him through the process. But what I found was during that time was what really gave him the confidence to be able to start to step out on his own was us being able to take on some of that for him. He was still working full time, so he didn't have the capacity to do all of it. The focus was really around getting his IP and thinking working that he needed to work on, and we were able to take the load of setting everything else up. And as a result, he was able to leave his job within 12 months. So his was a slower process. For others, it's quicker depending on what you need. But in his case, it was a 12-month project. And so what I've found since then is, with him being able to set that up today, he speaks at conferences, events, he runs workshops, he's doing global leadership programs, and he specializes in the space of global disruption and change. And it's so great to see him being able to go out and have the courage to deliver the work that he's got the expertise in and make the change that he's been put on this planet to make. So what I've put together is this program called Kickstart Your Practice. And because I have found a lot of people have really struggled to get started, and sometimes they just need a little bit of support. There's plenty of people we've worked with who want to do it themselves, and that's terrific. But some people just sometimes need a little bit more support. So what I've done is I've put this together, this program where we have a great team of writers, designers, and people who can help you and help us. We all work together to build your platform. And so that may mean starting with things like a brand and just logos and websites and your LinkedIn profile and all those things to start to build your platform and your practice. I put together a few options so that you can sort of decide depending on your budget and the outcome that you're looking for, depending on what you need and what you would like. And then from there, we can start to work with you to really help that all come together. Because I don't know if you find this, but I find when I'm working with people who are starting their practices, there's a lot of confusion. They don't have a lot of time. They're struggling to kind of say, well, I need to get this up quickly. It's like sometimes they are like David, where they needed the 12 months, but they just don't have time. The other ones are trying to get it done really quickly. And the challenge is just simply being able to there's a lot to learn if you're trying to do it all yourself, particularly if you're trying to do it fast and you need to get revenue moving. It's really hard to sell the invisible if you're selling your expertise when you've got no collateral. So we have to build these things quickly. So depending on what you need. And the other thing I also find for people starting out is there's quite often a little bit of self-doubt. I don't know if what I've got is good enough. I don't know if what I've got to say is relevant. Does it really solve people's problems? I don't know what half the problems are of the audiences I want to work with. And so what we do is work through all that so that we can make sure it's all relevant, matches the audience, that you can start to generate revenue and feel confident in your presence online, and also with the documents and things that you're going to be using to sell. So, I don't know about you, but I find that if we can do all that, then you're going to be able to kick off with confidence. You're going to be able to start to work with the type of clients that you really want to work with, and you're going to feel like you really are starting to do the work that you have been put on this planet to do. So make sure you reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Click on the links below. We'll have a chat and see what we can do to help and see which one would be best for you. All right, I can't wait to talk to you soon. Bye for now.